Okay.
Yep.
Let's rock and roll. Good afternoon. It's Robert and Julia Miller with the J. Patel Group and Rethink Real Estate with another exciting real estate update.
Real estate update. That's right.
I don't know why I stuttered there. That's kind of
Episode 95.
awesome.
I haven't fully decided on the title, but I guess I would say not in a free fall. The market is not in a free fall would probably be a good title for this.
Good theme. I like it.
Yeah. You want to go first with the joke?
Yeah. Reminder, please like and subscribe.
Yes.
Helps grow our viewership, which is moving along nicely.
It is, yeah.
So hopefully 200 by the end of the year.
We're hoping for 200.
Okay, so please continue to support us and share us with your friends.
Share us with your friends to help educate all on the real estate market.
Okay, I haven't tried yoga, but I have tried bending over to pick up my keys. I'm pretty sure I would not like yoga.
Yoga is good. It's
Yeah,
very
I'm just
good for the
joking.
body.
I actually love yoga every morning before I leave the bedroom. I've done a yoga and stretching routine, and it really helps
Yeah,
loosen up the old bones and get things going.
I try to do it with you too, but the cat usually pulls me from the bedroom a little earlier.
You gotta have your priorities.
Yeah. Well, talk to him because he thinks he's the main priority for sure. So, I was thinking this week that I'd just like to die like Grandpa died.
How was that?
Peaceful and in his sleep. Not like the other people in the car that were screaming and grasping at life. A dear friend that I had lunch with last week gave me that joke. Thank you, Patricia.
That is a good one.
That is fun. Yes, very fun. Dear friend and client.
All right, moving on. A little bit of history that happened this week in the past. 2010, Chilean miners are rescued October 13th after 69 days underground. All 33 survived.
Is that the movie that we watched?
No,
that's
that
13.
was about
That's
the
a soccer
Thailand
team.
soccer team. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this was a different instance. Yeah, that rescue was in 2018. I believe 2000.
I don't know. 13
No,
Lives is the name of the movie.
Yeah, 13 Lives. Fantastic
film.
movie. Yeah.
Fantastic. Prime, I believe. Prime?
Yeah, I think you can see it on Prime. Okay, moving on. 1997, singer John Denver dies October 12th, crashing his plane into Monterey Bay.
Yes.
The good die young.
Oh, man.
1983, the first U.S. cellular network is launched October 12th in Chicago.
1983.
1947, pilot Chuck Yeager breaks the sound barrier October 14th in a rocket-powered aircraft.
Good old Chuck Yeager.
1923, on October 13th, Ankara replaces Constantinople as capital of Turkey.
I did not know that, actually. When was that?
1923.
Really?
Yep. 1892, the U.S. Pledge of Allegiance is first recited by public school students October 12th. Finally,
still should be.
1492, Christopher Columbus reaches the New World October 12th in the Bahamas.
Columbus Day was yesterday.
That's right.
For
Columbus Day was
Indigenous
yesterday.
people, depending on where you are in the United States, Indigenous People Day. Native American Day.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yes,
so we're going to celebrate.
It's all of those. Yeah. I believe it was Indigenous People Day. It hasn't fully passed through Congress. I was listening to a podcast this morning about it. So it's still sitting on Congress's desk amongst all the other things.
Hopefully they get it passed through.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's move on to a little bit of news this week.
All right.
Regulatory
Give
news.
us some good news.
It's just kind of a little bit
news.
of repeat of what we're going through. There are a few, or at least one major report that's due out on Thursday that
employment.
Yes,
Yeah,
that will have an effect on the market and where we're going, and so anxiously awaiting that report.
Yes, we are.
Okay, regulatory news. Fed officials last week said the U.S. Central Bank's policy rate may reach 4.5% to 4.75% by spring of 2023. So they were a little vague in last week's report on that, and here is a little more concrete what they're thinking. 4.5, 4.75 by spring.
We have to go further.
Yep, we have to go further, says Chicago Fed President Charles
We have further
Evans.
to go, is exactly how he put it. Yeah.
Okay, UK housing crash. UK's been in the news lately because they made some pretty drastic Parliament decisions, somewhat backfired with a tax cut that they retracted, but they're definitely having the same issues there that we are having. UK housing crash, massive tax cuts sent already high interest rates soaring anew in the UK last week. The Bank of England bought fragile stability with an emergency bond buying program, but many banks responded with significantly higher mortgage rates, so leaving house prices as much as 30% overvalued. And
we almost reached that. You know, we have places in the United States that were 28%. And not overvalued necessarily, but that's how much we had appreciated relatively quickly since the pandemic, and we're recovering from that, and things are slowing or correcting, however you want to look at it. So yeah, I think the UK is feeling what we've been feeling for a few months now.
Right. Other parts of Europe too. Some countries are increasing their interest rates from zero that have been there for decades. So
yeah.
We'll have to continue to watch that. Cooling trade, disruptions from high energy costs, rising interest rates, and war are expected to slow global trade to just 1% growth in 2022. And I think it was originally 6%. So that's pretty substantial.
That's cooling, all right.
Yeah. Moving on to economic news, September jobs. Non-farm payrolls rose by 263,000 in September, just below the Dow Jones estimate of 275,000.
Okay.
Unemployment was 3.5%. Federal Reserve policymakers expect by hiking interest rates, unemployment will eventually rise to 4.4%. It just seems so ironic that they're looking for a bad employment rate to show that they're counteracting inflation.
I know. I feel the same way. I'm like, how does it make sense that unemployment numbers need to be worse in order for it to be good for the economy?
It's the inflation thing, you know. If unemployment rate goes up, that means that inflation is going to come down. It seems backwards, but that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Okay, plowing ahead, a recent survey of businesses showed steady rising employment and economic growth. The economy is still plowing ahead, but the future looks dimmer. The Fed's commitment to higher rates to tackle inflation seems likely to slow the economy, and many economists predict recession, there's the R word, by early 2023.
Oh, okay. I thought we were already in one.
Yeah, many people do say that we're already in it because we've had two quarters in a row of negative numbers, but especially politicians, they're reluctant to use the R word.
They are.
But let's face it, we're in or fast approaching a recession.
Yeah.
Okay, housing news. Home prices cool, no surprise there. Home prices declined nationwide for the second straight month, dropping 0.98% in August, yet home prices are still 13.5% higher than a year ago. And this number fluctuates all over.
It is, yeah. That's a higher number.
It really
than
ranges depending on what data you're looking at, from 9.5 to 13.5. I think is the highest.
I think that's the highest I've seen. Yeah.
Up 40. This was interesting. We haven't really looked 2 years back in a while. It's up 40%. Even with everything that's going on, we are up 40% from 2019.
Wow. Okay.
So, still very healthy housing market. It's unlikely home prices will fall dramatically as during the Great Recession a decade before, because there is much more demand and less supply. And Julia's going to do a little bit of a special report here. Let me get through this.
No, that's okay. Yeah, definitely.
And then we'll jump back into this because Julia does have a great report.
Yeah, I found a really great article.
Yeah, comparing what we're going through now compared to what happened at the crash. Private construction is down. Private residential construction spending declined 0.9% in August amid surging mortgage rates. Despite being the third consecutive monthly decline, it was still 12.5% over last year.
Okay.
In contrast, private improvements rose by 1%. So this is a cycle we always seem to go through when things slow down in the housing market. People decide they're going to stay put, and then you start seeing an uptick in home improvement projects and pool building and remodeling, and so buy stock in Home Depot because it's probably going to do very well for the next few quarters.
It probably is, yeah.
Rental unseasonably soft, and I had a little bit to interject into this because I think they were kind of missing a explanation here. Third quarter rental demand fell for the first time in 30 years in 2022, and we've been talking about rentals, watching that number, and they've definitely been shifting.
We had a slowdown for sure,
and the pricing coming down. As the coronavirus crisis winds down, housing formation appears to have stalled, with more renters now moving out than moving in. Well, we know from sales they're not moving into home ownership
necessarily.
So where are they going? Apartment vacancies rose to 4.1%, though that is still very low due to the COVID demand surge. How about household merges? We've been talking about this. We're multi-gen, having more and more families combining, and single people
saying that's okay, I'll take one or two.
We'll get a 4-bedroom home and we'll have 4 roommates splitting the cost. I think that has more to do with the rental change that we're seeing than anything.
Yeah, I think that existing rental rates are going up. So landlords are coming to renters saying, okay, I'm going to raise your rent $500 a month. Well, that's
I can't afford that anymore. I was already paycheck to paycheck. I can't afford another $500.
So how about I sublet, or can I have another person move in with me so they're sharing the expense?
Right.
Energy prices are going up. Gas prices are going up. So
food, everything.
Everything. So helping burden that cost and cost sharing with another person is definitely a smart way to go.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
All right, Julia's got a special report on doing a little comparison between what we're going through now and how it compares to what we went through with the crash.
Yeah, I was trying to decide whether this came from NAR or AAR, so National Association, or Arizona Association. I believe it's National Association, just going by the data that's included in the report. So I will give
him credit.
Yeah, Neil Goradia. So this is from the lounge portion of this segment. Real estate market is not in a free fall, and this is why. Again, and we've talked about this, why this market is not the same as 2008, the recession, or the housing crash of 2008.
Great Recession,
as he refers to it. Yeah. Reading recent headlines, you'd assume that the real estate market is about to collapse. And with Forbes reporting that the industry is already in a free fall.
Yeah, a little bit of drama creation in the media.
You might have your reservations. Yep. Before you panic, it's important to take stock of the factors currently impacting the market and rest assured that its foundation remains intact.
We're in a solid real estate
Right.
market,
Music to my
regardless of
ears.
what we're going through.
Although it's undeniable that the real estate market is wrestling with lingering supply chain issues, as well as less than ideal interest rates, the industry is far stronger than it was a decade ago, right? So, current housing market status. Across the country, current data shows the real estate market is taking a breath. I like that.
That's a good way to put it.
I like that
Kind of
analogy.
taking a breath, reset.
Right.
I heard reset.
It could seem that buyers are trying to grasp the current economic conditions. And I think we all are, right? We are shifting from a seller's market to a slightly more neutral position, however.
Very rapidly.
Yeah.
It's incredibly how fast it's happened.
However, when quality homes are listed for the right price, they are still selling in a reasonable time frame.
And I think back to 2008, it was the same way then, despite how bad that Great Recession was. Great homes sold. Mm-hmm. And they sold for a solid amount of money, and they sold relatively quickly.
Yeah.
That just never changes. There's
Right.
always going to be some demand. And if you have your home showing spectacular and you price it attractively,
Right.
it's going to sell regardless of the market.
Well, and I think it's important on a regular basis, I'm not going to say weekly necessarily, but on a regular basis to evaluate your price and see how the market is responding to your price. We do that on a weekly basis almost with our clients, with our
Right.
current listings. He says, in short, the real estate market is not in a free fall. Despite ongoing difficulties caused by COVID-19, it remains stronger than it's been since the Great Recession. So 2022 will not be a repeat of 2008. To better understand the current real estate market, it helps to compare today to the most recent housing crisis of 2008. At that time, the market was in a free fall due to a number of factors. Okay. We had the lack of jobs and income, right?
Right.
There was job loss all over the place.
Yeah, the unemployment rate was much higher.
Unemployment rate was terrible, yeah. There was an overvaluation of homes, right? We were paying double what they were worth, honestly. The subprime mortgage crisis, let's not relive that again. Let's not relive subprime lending. Terrible, terrible times. And there was a burst of the housing bubble. So what's meant by that is the ghost inventory that we talked about. Mm-hmm. There was homes that were sitting vacant, owned by banks because they had foreclosed, and there were months and months of getting caught up with that.
It was false demand. You had 57,000 listings, and most of them were vacant.
Oh, yeah. As cracks began to develop within the subprime mortgage industry, it was clear that the housing market of 2008 was built on a house of cards. As a result, as we all know, there was a record amount of foreclosures, a mess that was left by irresponsible financial and lending practices. Today, however, is a vastly different situation. Mortgage and lending practices were overhauled as a result of this Great Recession. Most homeowners today are well equipped to afford their mortgages.
Ton of appreciation, so people are in good, solid financial
What's more happening is people are outgrowing their households. They could use another bedroom. They could use more space, but unfortunately, they're not in a position to do anything about it quite yet.
Right now.
Right. Disruptions within the real estate market today are largely the result of ripples within the general economy left over from the pandemic.
So
I think it's definitely important to realize that it is a time to negotiate. It's time to negotiate as a buyer. It's time to negotiate as a seller. Mm-hmm. So, things that we haven't had to do in the last few years, maybe, we're having to do a little bit more of. It doesn't mean it's harder. It doesn't mean that the seller doesn't want to work with you or the buyer doesn't want to work with you. It's a come to terms. It's a meeting of the minds. as we say, in negotiating their contracts.
Okay. All right, let's move on. Rates actually tipped, all across the board. Everything ticked down just slightly.
Yay!
30-year, 6.725 dropped to 6.586. 15-year dropped from 5.950 to 5.866, and the VA was at 6.311. It's now down to 6.297.
All right, we'll take it. We'll take it.
Inventory took a pretty substantial jump up, and we are over that 20,000 mark now. We were at 19,905. We're now at 20,334 active listings.
Okay.
Peoria went from 709 to 703. Surprise went from 896 to 928. A little closer to home, Trilogy went up 5. They're at 42 now. 514,000 is the most affordable. 1,450,000 is the most expensive.
Woo.
Vistancia Village is flat at 52. Most affordable 357,000. Most expensive 1,198,000. Blackstone Country Club added 1. They're at 10. Most affordable 595,000. Most expensive 2,790,000.
All right.
Portobello dropped 1. They're at 26. 449,000. The most affordable 949 tops the list. Sun City Grand went up 5.
Woo.
360,000. The most affordable 850,000. The most expensive. Sun City West went up 6. They're at 191, pushing that 200 options to choose from over in Sun City West. 224,900 is the most affordable. 869,000 the most expensive. Westbrook Village added 3. They're at 38. 330,000 the most affordable. 595,000 tops the list. Trilogy at Vistancia. The number of homes sold in the last 30 days is only 9.
Ooh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Trilogy at Vistancia under contract is 14. And I apologize, I did not get the numbers for Vistancia Village.
Oh, well,
I'll have those for you
catch
next
up with you
week.
next week on that one.
Right. Okay, that's our report for this week. Everybody have a blessed week. If there are any other communities that you have interest in that we're not covering, please let us know, because we're always looking to add more content and more depth to what we report. So again, if you have a community or another subject, within the housing industry, if there's more information that you'd like to see on a specific topic, don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Definitely. Let us know.
All right. Be blessed, and we will see you again next week.
Have a good week.
Testing. Okay, there it is.
Okay. Are we ready?
I think so. Got your joke up and ready? Okay.
Yep.
Let's rock and roll. Are expected to slow global trade to just 1% growth in 2022. And I think it was originally 6%, so that's pretty
that's
substantial.
That's cooling, all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Pause that for a second.
That'll be an outtake.
Carry on.